Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to VALMIERAS STIKLA Šķiedra Investor Conference webinar. Today we are hosted by VALMIERAS STIKLA Šķiedra Chairman of the Management Board, Mr. Stefan Jugel. As always, we will start with the company's presentation, after which we will hold a questions and answers session. If you have any questions to the company, please type them in the question box in the webinar admin panel. Mr. Jugel, the floor is all yours.
Yes, warm welcome from my side as well on behalf of VALMIERAS STIKLA Šķiedra and its management. We prepare today's 4 topics. I want to give you an update on the latest development today, our legal protection process. Then second, I want to give you an update on the annual reporting and environmental, social governance and corporate governance reports issued. I will update you on the financial guidance and on the FPO. My name is Stefan Jugel. I'm the chairman of the board of VALMIERAS STIKLA Šķiedra. First, update on the latest development today. I can announce that today we had an extraordinary board meeting in the morning, and the board has decided to file for legal protection process at Vidzeme District Court in Valmiera. What it means for us, I want to explain to you shortly. First of all, I can tell you that our business operation in Latvia and UK is continuing in full swing. And I want to point out clearly at this time, legal protection process doesn't mean insolvency for the company. The aim for filing this legal protection process was a letter of payment request from one of our smallest lenders in the US for this small credit, which was issued by this bank to the American entity. VALMIERAS STIKLA Šķiedra act as a guarantor, and last week this bank requested a repayment of this loan to VALMIERAS STIKLA Šķiedra. That's why we decided, after discussion of the several options and after legal consultancy with our legal advisors, to start the legal protection process, which gives us the possibility for the next 8 weeks to negotiate, to find a settlement, and also find the common sense with our creditors and other stakeholders of the company. The target of the management is to cooperate for the next 2 months with the creditors to find a legal protection proceeding plan and ensure the sustainable continuation of our business, which is good. I can point out at this time that we're having a stable business in Latvia and UK, both companies fulfilling their business plans, both companies generating sufficient cash flow and a good net profit. Our target is during this time to operate in full scale. We are hoping and we're asking our creditors and our vendors to support us during this process, to give us the possibility to run our business, generate cash flow, satisfy our accounts payable, and coming out much stronger as a company and as a group. Second point, update on our annual report. As you all can imagine, such a step, legal protection process, also has impact on our annual reports. As we announced lately, we were targeted by our auditors for additional external expertise. This was done. We provide this expertise. Till now, all our annual reports in the US, in Latvia, still open, and our expectation is that this legal protection process will additionally delay the publishing of our 2018 accounts. So we anticipate the distribution of the annual accounts 2018 by September 16, but we will keep you updated. Nevertheless, we were working with our legal advisors and the company to improve our corporate governance approach. So in the last week, we issue our environmental and social governance report and also our corporate governance report to show that we are transparent even under circumstances to do the utmost to provide as much guidance and as much information to the market and our shareholders and also other stakeholders. I have to update you on our financial guidance. In the last presentation, we made some statements about 2019-2020 results. This has to be updated under the circumstances of the legal protection process. So we suggest that we will not take longer this latest operational and financial data, and we will update you soon with updated figures. But at this time and at this point, I can figure out that our Latvian and UK operation is remaining, the business remaining strong. We have full order books. We actually have fuller order books than we can deliver at the moment. We have a healthy cash generating business and we don't expect any bigger changes on the Latvian and UK side. And our main focus is now on utilizing the assets in the US and bring the US entity back to a profit and cash flow level, which we used to have in 2016 and 2017. Update on the FPO process. The management was working full blast on FPO process. We have done and prepare all necessary documentation. We were prepared to issue additional shares in second half of 2019. This has to be reviewed by our shareholder meeting, which is held next week on Friday, June 28. And as you have seen in the announcement of the agenda for next week, we propose to go ahead with FPO, but ultimately this is a decision which has to be taken by shareholders majority. This is the update from my side for today, and I'm happy to answer your questions now.
Thank you for the presentation. There are two questions that we have received in advance. So the first one, why VALMIERAS STIKLA Šķiedra hasn't published its first quarter 2019 financial report? Auditor's opinion on 2018 annual report is unlikely to affect the first quarter results.
Unfortunately, it's likely that the opinion of 2018's account is affecting Q1. Actually, our profit and loss statements are ready, but as we have been targeted by the auditors to provide additional impairment testing and go in constant testing for the US, we have to review, we have to ask auditors' opinion about this impairment and what it means for our assets in the US. And this has for sure an impact on our 2019 account on the asset side of the balance sheet and the active, and also on our depreciation level. That's why we postponed this. We are not happy with the situation that we can't provide you figures, and we're working on now to have a preliminary update on 2019 account, maybe without issuing a detailed balance sheet.
Thank you. Question number 2, are additional share issue plans still in force? This is something that you commented on during the presentation already.
Yes, but I can repeat this. I think VALMIERAS STIKLA Šķiedra is still a good target to invest. and the FPO is still a good opportunity for us to strengthen our capital base of the company. This could be part of our legal protection recovery plan, but this has to be decided in the upcoming weeks by shareholders and by management how we go ahead with the FPO. Our target is to go ahead with FPO, but I can't confirm this today.
Thank you. Can you please explain in much more detail what is actually wrong in US other than problem in getting capacity up?
Yes, as we published in the latest presentation, we were facing several challenges in the US. Actually, still can confirm US is a good market for our product. We have higher prices, we have bigger customers, we have a high demand. We have a unique selling point for some of our products in the US. So US is still a good market for us. And talking about the challenge of the investment, we face several challenges. As I mentioned in the last presentation, we had challenges with suppliers finalizing the investment, which lead us in a delay of starting up the facility. And one of our biggest challenge we had in US was finding a stable workforce, creating stable workforce, finding skilled people in the US, and we're still facing these challenges on daily basis in production. So we haven't been able so far to utilize the investment 100%, even if customers are waiting, supporting us, even if the market is waiting for our product.
Thank you. Please comment on the planned supervisory board changes.
This is something I like to comment, but actually members of the supervisory board are elected by the shareholder meeting. So this is a decision of shareholder meeting. The shareholders have to propose the members of supervisory board and have to elect this. Actually, it's not, fortunately or unfortunately, it's not a decision of management board to choose the members of supervisory board.
Thank you. Is it production problem or demand problem?
It's 100% not a demand problem, it's a production problem. As I said already, we don't produce enough, as much as we expected, as the market can take from us, and it's simply a production problem.
What is the result of USA unit for Q1 in terms of EBITDA?
Actually, I would like, but at the moment I can't publish this information on the standalone base.
At the current situation, in your opinion, what is blue sky and the worst scenarios, and what timing you see the situation to become more stable?
Let's say, talking about the legal protection process, we have now 8 weeks time to find the common sense and settlement with our creditors and other stakeholders of the company as well. This is our short-term timeline. And as I said already, we have good operational business in Latvia and UK. We're generating profit, and we're expecting to come out much stronger than we used to be, or we are at the moment.
When will you unfreeze trading possibility?
Actually, after trading session today.
Can you still explain again how can you go so wrong in production for 18 million euro investment, which does not even make break even in cash flow terms? Who is responsible for that?
Actually, if you ask me these questions, then I would say the management of the group is responsible for operational business and this operation as well, and this investment as well. We all supported this investment in the US because for us it was a good step, or still a good step, to join this market, to increase our business. And sure, if you go to a different country, a different society, different people, a lot of things can go wrong. We are still convinced that the factory is at the right place at the right time, in the right market with the right products. But sometimes if small things getting wrong can have a big impact on the whole business, overall business. I wouldn't say as a mistake of the local management standalone. So there have been several challenges we had, talking about investment, talking about labor force, talking about probably also financing of the whole project. So we have received a lot of support by our shareholders. We have received a lot of support by our main shareholders, and at the end, we're still working on this to utilize this investment as much as possible.
Thank you. What is the amount of loan USA Bank is requesting back?
Actually, this is a total 3% of our total credit portfolio is approximately $3.010 million.
Thank you. At this point, all questions are answered. Shall we wait for a minute longer just to see if no? Yeah, we have one more. What is the status of potential sales of USA factory?
Actually, we have been targeted, as we published, by a potential buyer. They made the due diligence, but actually, by so far, we don't have a result, and we don't have a LOI or any contract in place. So at the moment, I would say this project failed.
Why are you not capable of paying the $3 million from VALMIERAS STIKLA ŠķiEDRA cash flows?
There have been several restrictions. First of all, 3 million cash flow, cash out for a different legal entity would affect our operational business, which we don't want to risk. Our operational business, this cash flow could mean for us that is missing for business here in Latvia and or UK, and which has an impact on our profit and our output here in Latvia. Second, we have also several restrictions by local lenders in Latvia by providing cash to external entities with a different shareholder structure.
Thank you. No more questions at this point. Let's wait a minute longer. We have one more. Why are you not sorry? $3 million is not a big amount for VALMIERAS STIKLA ŠķiEDRA Group. Is it possible that main shareholder will support VALMIERAS STIKLA ŠķiEDRA Group in terms of financing?
As I said already, the main shareholders supported a lot this investment. They support us in Latvia, they support us in the US, but actually they are limited by their bank contracts as well. So it's unlikely that we're going to have a short-term solution by supporting from the main shareholders. So I don't see the solution short-term. And that's why we also made this decision to go this way for legal protection, to sort out our credit portfolio and to work on a recovery plan.
It is not a question, but I think explanation which only states workforce as the only specific problem is not enough, and you should be more transparent which things specifically are so wrong.
As I said already, sure, I don't want to say it's just workforce. As I said, we faced several challenges during the investment phase with suppliers of equipment, with delays of the project. Several things. It's not just workforce, and I don't want to blame American workforce. They have done a good job. We create a core team there which support the entity, which support the production, and for some of them, the company became a family as well. So I wouldn't blame on workforce, but for sure we have problems probably not out of the core team with a tendency. And as you all know, we have a 24 hours, 365 days production. We need a tendency, we need a workforce, we need a minimum workforce to utilize our capacities, and we never reached this level so far.
Thank you. How much US business owns the Latvian one?
In the US, we are 52% shareholder.
And currently the last question that we have, maybe it makes sense to postpone trading on stock exchange for 8 weeks till LPP finalization.
Actually, we didn't take this in consideration. We have to ask for legal advice, but thank you for recommendation.
Thank you. While we're still waiting for our last question, the recording of the webinar will soon be available in company's announcements and is always on Nasdaq Baltic YouTube channel. But here's one more. How much credit has VALMIERAS STIKLA ŠķiEDRA guaranteed in total for US?
This is a question which is not answered that easily. Actually, the major financing of the US investment was made through the Latvian company. So the loan was taken by Latvian banks, by the Latvian entity, and forwarded to the US. We bought a lot of equipment as well, which we provided to the US entity. So the majority of the loan and the financing for the US project was done on the Latvian side.
Thank you. Maybe one more time, what was your initial US business plan compared to your actual situation, and why are you not able to reach it?
As I said already, we never reached our production level in the US, so we are at the moment at 55% of production output, and this also then we are at 55% of the sales, but at 100% of the costs. That's why we are not at the moment able to create positive cash flow, positive EBITDA.
Thank you. Seems we have managed to answer all the questions that we received. Participants, thank you for joining. Mr. Jugel, thank you for hosting us. See you during the next webinar.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, and I keep you up to date.